It's the same with others. Even when all that cloud covers the essence of who they are. If you become still, you can sense what's behind it, what's beyond it. It's actually that perception that there's an I here listening to a you that creates a sense of a separation. When we transcend the sense of conceptual I here to let the attention rest as awareness, from there, there's a recognition that awareness is also there. And that brings with it a sense of connectedness, unification, sameness, oneness.
I would like to share about anger. We talked about it yesterday. And, for me, it's a thing that has always been very forbidden, and forbidden emotion. So I think I pushed it away a lot in my life. But the last few years, it comes up very suddenly. One can come up in a split second. And when it's more slowly growing or building up anger, I can observe it and try to work with it or be with it. But now, in the last few years, it can come so suddenly, just from one second to another, and it seems to take me over that I have no choice in it. And that's a bit frightening, and it's a feeling I don't like and I want to get rid of. And but I don't know how. It's a bit scary also because I don't feel control over it. Yeah, that's what I want to expose and look at.
Yeah, anger is one of the most intense energies, and it can come very quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like something takes over the system. And it's very intense. And it's true, you don't have any control over it. And it is frightening not to experience control when there's such an intense energy taking over the system. So it requires a very high degree of presence not to be taken over by it. So it's not enough to wait until the moment in that second when it's coming and then remember, okay, now I need a high degree of presence because it's going to be too late. So the only thing that's required is to cultivate the high degree of presence as much as possible every single moment when it's easier, when the system's more calm. To practice resting the attention as awareness and consciously including the energy body, feeling the sensations in the body at the same time. So maybe you're preparing dinner and you're chopping vegetables, and at the same time there's a conscious feeling of the aliveness. Most people have formed a habit with the focus of attention where, especially when activity is happening, and there's doing something, all the attention goes to the doing, and there's a vacating of the body. There's not a conscious including of the body. So we can break that habit and retrain the system to be fully present also in the body all the time, as much as possible. It's a bit like anything. When you practice it, it becomes the natural state, so you don't need to practice anymore. The thing is, we've been practicing focusing on the content of the mind, on thoughts, or on what's happening out there. So that's become the habitual, normal focus. So it requires consciousness and presence to shift that focus from the content to resting as the emptiness in which the content appears. So it's similar to if you look in the room now, if I ask you what do you see in the room, you probably say chairs, yoga mats, windows. Automatically your attention goes to the content. But actually, what's the biggest part of the room? What is the essence of the room? This, we can't see it, we can't touch it, this space. Now you can shift the focus of your attention from the content, looking at a chair, to the space. It's similar to this. Not focusing on the thoughts, the sensations, the sounds, but resting as awareness in which they appear. So that's the practice. And then when it comes, maybe it takes over. That's okay. You can only do your best in the moment. Then usually after the fact, when the energy's gone dormant again, there's a recognition, oh, there was a fall in the level of consciousness there. Something took over. The mind sees that as an opportunity. Say, oh, this is great. Now I can do some self-judgment. And it starts bringing thoughts, oh, I failed. I should have done my practice. Why did I let that happen? I behaved unconsciously. And of course, identifying with those thoughts, believing that story, pulls you more into unconsciousness. So vigilance is also required after the fall in consciousness, to not take the hook from the mind that might tempt you to identify with a story of a conceptual self that's done it wrong, or a story of a conceptual self that got it right. Oh, I was so present, I didn't let that energy take over. I've really got it now. It's the other side of the coin. So this energy becomes your teacher. Maybe your greatest teacher. Because without it, that high degree of presence wouldn't be required. So when you know this, there's even a looking forward to it coming. Oh, this is great. Because what I actually want is to live deeply anchored in presence. And it's only if I'm pushed to the limit that I have the opportunity to deepen in that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's feels like a relief.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We tend to be so hard on ourselves, like, have to get everything right the first time. And that attitude overlooks the fact that it's in the mistakes that we're getting practice in order to improve and learn. We don't expect, if we want to learn guitar, that the first time we pick up a guitar, we're going to be a maestro and be able to play amazing songs, because we know I have to spend time practicing this, training my fingers how to be a certain way, how to move a certain way. And each time a mistake is made, there's improvement happening because the system's fine-tuning. It's exactly the same. So the mistakes are not mistakes, they're learning.
And not to judge about this and have no judgments about this.
Yes.
Because that makes it.
Yes. Instead to celebrate it. Oh, great.
Yeah.
This one. So, how many people, after there's a fall in consciousness and then recognition, well, I just yelled at the people I love the most. Celebrate that. Oh, that's fantastic. I just got some really great practice and some learning happened on some level. Because that's actually what's happening.
Yeah.
It's not that we're bad or we're evil. Do any of us make a decision? Oh, today I'm going to get really angry at my kids. I'm going to yell at them. Or my partner. It's innocent. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
When we understand this, there's self-compassion.
Yeah.
And that self-compassion then overflows to feel compassion for others when their system is overwhelmed and the level of consciousness is dropped to the point where they're not able to do differently. They're not choosing to be unconscious or project unconsciousness. The system's in overwhelm. There's not presence there. And there's actually pain there in that moment. So rather than making other people then wrong, she's such a bitch, look how she behaved. No, there's just compassion and there's a seeing beyond the expression, beyond the unconsciousness, to that which is the essence of the person, that purity, pure awareness, which is always there, just like it's always here. When we can recognize it here, we can see it everywhere. And it is more challenging to recognize it when there's a thick veil. Just like the sky, when there's no clouds, it's easy to see the sun shining bright. But when the sky is covered in gray cloud, you know the sun is there. You can't see it. How can you connect with it? You have to kind of feel the sun. Can I sense the sun? If you tune in, you can sense that it's there. You can feel that it's there. It's the same with others. Even when all that cloud covers the essence of who they are. If you become still, you can sense what's behind it, what's beyond it. It's actually that perception that there's an I here listening to a you that creates a sense of a separation. When we transcend the sense of conceptual I here to let the attention rest as awareness, from there, there's a recognition that awareness is also there. And that brings with it a sense of connectedness, unification, sameness, oneness. And again, it's a shift in the focus of attention from this narrow me in the box and a you, to, like if you look in the room, you can say the chairs are all separate. When you focus like this on the objects, we can count them. But the space in which they appear, you can't count it. It's just all one. So it's the same with the people. I can count the forms. Now, the essence, the space in which the forms appear, doesn't have a form, so I can't see it. So how can I know it's there? You have to sense it. You sense it through the stillness, presence.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Very
Peter.
clear.
Right, thank
Opens
you.
my heart.
Oh, beautiful.